What's up? Intuition intervals. Oh my gosh, I'm so fired up for this training. It is going to be just revolutionary, and I'm going to get right into it. We're probably not going to need a full hour for this, and there's a lot of journaling that you're going to do. And I want to drop right in and start off with an explanation. And it's really from personal experience that I came to this part of this chill method from my own journey and my own pain and my own suffering that I was able to shift, turn around, and really transmute into, one of my greatest gifts. And that is really learning how to relax. And so through this process, one thing that I was able to tap into using my exercise physiology expertise was this idea of interval training. And I understand, on a very deep level, for the human body, when we give the human body doses of very high intensity exercise, we stimulate a very specific response. And what it does, among many things, but one thing that it does is it actually creates a highly adaptive state for the body. And I don't want to get too much into the science behind this because I can unpack that like in a whole other training. What I want to drive home, the point I really want to make here is that when we do this high intensity interval training, we set our metabolism off in a way that becomes really helpful for us as far as, how our muscles use energy and how we feel throughout the day. And most folks that start doing HIIT workouts, high intensity interval training, where you do a bout of exercise at a very high intensity and then you have some rest and you hit it again, you do that multiple times and that's the workout, experience a real sharp improvement in their overall feeling of just being energized. So it got me to thinking, and again, because I know what's going on physiologically, I was like, let me get curious here. Let me unpack this because this has a lot to do with our ability to relax. And when we are able to relax, we literally ease into the blueprint of our lives. And I've said that a lot. And what I mean by that is that living your life and expressing yourself in your truest nature is a very easy, relaxing process. So why is it that us human beings spend most of our lives, decade after decade, suffering, in pain, feeling tired and fatigued and tortured? And it really comes down to one simple thing. And we're all here. All of us, no matter what our specific blueprints are and our gifts and our lessons that we have to learn and our journeys and our experiences and our cultures and everything that makes us unique and different. One thing that holds us all together is that we all have to shift and maneuver through this understanding of self-worth. That's it. Every one of us. Find me a human who hasn't had their personal journey with tapping into, am I worthy of being here, right? I'd call it like the common human core wound that we're all kind of born with and here to dance through. So that being said, if that's the case, and what we can do is learn how to ease up and relax and kind of slide into our true nature, our physiology opens up, our cellular structures open up, and we go from a place of contraction and dis-ease into a place of openness. And our cells literally open their receptor sites. The way that they bind with other cells and the way they take in nutrients literally opens up. And high intensity interval training does that. And I'm like, wow, if we can combine doing these high intensity intervals with then what we know about contemplation and allowing our soul to kind of hear our divine downloads and like what makes us us, right? I'm like, oh, this is super cool. So I started to play with this. And it's been like a year that I've been playing with this, where I'm like, if I do a high intensity interval workout and I bring my journal, oh my God, in between each, I'm like, I am constantly getting these like aha moments and these revelations. And I would always just ignore it, chalk it up to, oh, I'll get to it later. It's a great idea or whatever. And then I forget. So I literally spent like 12 months more, probably every workout, bringing my journal and seeing like what comes up. And I have had one of the most transformative years of my life. I have been able to move through a very difficult and painful divorce. I have been able to pivot my business, move through some old business partnerships. I mean, it's just been, it's been so exciting. So like, I have to share this, right? I have to get this out there. So you did the chill interval workout that I shared, right? And if you haven't, definitely do that, because it'll actually walk you through a full workout. What I want to do today is I want to ignite this flame and give you some things to really stretch. So it's like interval training for your mindset, the same way that I would train your body. And what we're going to do is, instead of giving you like a dose of really high intensity exercises to work through, I'm going to give you a dose of really high intensity questions to ask you to really stretch. It's going to feel as uncomfortable as doing that high intensity interval workout, but in between, the pause is where the magic happens, because the pause is where the adaptation is going to take place, and you're going to step more into your own imagination, your own creativity. And that's where I want to go with you today. So intuition intervals is about kindling your own flame. Okay. And it's, again, this combination of writing and moving exercises to open up your body, your soul, your mind. And as you know, we've talked about this before, that when those three operating systems are in alignment, you step more into your self-worth, and you can really ignite that flame, and you open yourself up to receiving deep insight that will literally help you unleash your magic. Why do I know this? Well, I know it because I've walked through it. I've experienced it myself, so I could turn around and share it with you. And it just excites me on every level to know that we can literally be there for each other, to support each other through this process. So I absolutely want to hear from you guys and what you go through, what you experience with this. So these very acts alone, just like a HIIT workout, unlock the health in every cell of your body. The very act of doing what I'm going to teach you today is going to restore your vitality and get you back to your essence. And when I say essence, I mean your soul, your body, mind, physical essence, right? That's what it is. And even your quintessence. Oh, it's such a juicy word. And again, we can unpack that another time. So let's drop in with how we have been living, okay? Anything less than your true essence is a lie. And when you are living a lie, you are living in stress, right? And then you tack in the fact that we're all living like that, and we're literally inundated with stress all over the place. Like, we just live in this kind of world. We know this. I'm not going to harp on it too much. I'll tap into it a little bit later on in the training. But the two biggest antidotes to stress, I'm going to share with you right now, and we're going to actually have a remedy for it. And it's kind of funny because really, I mean, the true antidote to stress is love. And that almost seems cliche, but it is the damn truth. Like, you can't, everything is curable with love. Love is the highest frequency energy. And that word is super emotionally charged for all of us. And that's for a reason, right? But the thing is, because it's so emotionally charged for us, it can seem like a very overwhelming word, right? It's almost esoteric. And so I'm going to break it down a little bit into tangible pieces and just say that the two biggest antidotes to stress are, number one, creativity, and number two, movement. And we're going to combine both of them today. Boom. So they're married, right? Like, their energy is magnified in tandem. And again, I know this because I've been my own self-study and experiment for the past year. Intuition intervals is how we can get this energy flowing like you're 8 years old again. And I get to witness that in my own child and see the magnificence of what it's like to be in the present moment, fully engaged from the soul, from the mind, and from the body. So it's time to get in. Let's do some writing and some exercising, right? Different form of exercising today. So I'm going to have you journal these out. So grab a pen and grab your journal and write these down. I will, of course, share this in a separate opportunity sheet, which you will get. Yay. And yeah, this is intense. So if you're watching the training, you're going to pause and you're going to write for a while and you're going to come back to this. It's like 2 to 3 day journaling experience, and you're going to do it in intervals. That's the whole point. You can take a look at it, you're going to stop, you're going to reflect, you're going to do other things, and you're going to come back to it, and it's just going to flow. Okay, there's no pressure here. Oh, I just look like a 90s hip hop girl. I was like, there's no pressure here. I'm dating myself. Anyway, so first question, and this is a stretch. These are intense, and that is the purpose of these questions. What is your biggest shadow? Okay? I want you to write, like you're writing a novel, paragraphs about the thing in your character that you feel most ashamed of, the thing that you hide from everybody. You may not be aware that you're even hiding it, but it's like that thing where it's like, oh my God, what if people found out I was stupid? Oh my God, I don't want anybody to think that I'm arrogant, right? It's the thing that you feel shame around. And I want you to not just write about your biggest, like shadow. And remember, this is not a shaming exercise. This is actually the opposite. It's to bring that pain into the light. And now here you're going to go to a different place with it. As you write about that thing that you think, oh my God, if anybody found out I was a bitch, whatever it is, right? That I have a temper, or that whatever it is, write a paragraph as you write through, write a paragraph specifically about how you can use that to express yourself in the deepest, most meaningful way. In other words, how can you see it as a gift that can actually serve the people you love and serve the world? Intuition interval. You're going to write, and this very process is going to physiologically alter your state, create brainwave activity that you've possibly never felt before, and release so many feel-good chemicals, so many healing hormones, and ultimately reset your metabolism. But also in the process, you are going to come so much closer into tapping into your soul and actualizing your worth. We're anchoring this in physiologically. This is radical. This is a shift. You will never go back to being the same way again after this work. So take it seriously. Yeah, these are hard questions. It's like, I'm not going to give you a workout that's just a bunch of stretching if we're doing high intensity interval training. We're going to work hard in a good way. And when I say work hard, I don't mean work hard like we're not mining coal. We are tapping into our greatest gifts. So it's all relative. Is this really hard work, or do we get to play and have the time of our lives discovering who we really are and learning how to express that so that we have the ultimate health and we can relax into who we truly are, and from that place receive abundance and prosperity like we've never known before, and deep contentment, right? A bountiful business, career, relationships inside a meaningful life. I love that. Okay, next question. What does it mean to you to live a life of greatness? And I'm going to give you some context here, because again, greatness is like this big monster word, but I started to just say that, like, it's about meaning. And this is a great Hungarian philosopher that I was introduced to through another training that I've gone through over the years. And his name is Bella Hambus. And he really contemplated around, this concept of what greatness actually means. I'm going to read you guys a quote that I fucking love. And it just makes me really contemplate and puts things in perspective. And you're going to journal on this too. Greatness has style, while career is merely successful. Greatness is a matter of play. Career is a matter of showmanship. So greatness then therefore has nothing to do with external validation or talent for that matter. Super powerful, right? Journal on that. What does it mean to you to live a life of greatness? Okay. I'm going to give you one more question. It's a series of questions, and it's all going to, again, trigger this discomfort in you. Tea break. I am drinking, in case you want to know, apple caramel tea. Are you fucking kidding me? It's like heaven. I can't. Anyway, what is your biggest problem right now? And I'm saying problem for a reason because it's a trigger, right? It's like, if I could only solve this problem. I want you to identify what you perceive as your biggest problem right now. Journal on it. And now we're going to play some mental gymnastics. And I want you to then show your mind what is on the other side of that problem. In other words, what does life look like if you did not have this problem? If it was literally solved right now and you didn't have it. And here are the questions that are going to prompt you to write this. No longer this problem does not exist in your world. It's gone. What would you be doing? How would you be expanding? How would you be showing up? Who would you surround yourself with? How would you move about your day? What would you be focusing on? What would you be thinking about? What would you be dreaming about? And journal on that. And again, I'm going to send you an opportunity sheet, but those questions are going to feel uncomfortable in the best possible way because this is an opportunity for delicious adaptation to occur, growth. You are stepping into a new, more self-aware, self-actualized, and self-worthy skin and body, right? Every cell of your being. Okay, so let's go a little bit further. Let's play a little bit more. And let's talk about a couple of other things that I want to hit upon with regard to stress, number one, and how we can literally, it's not a matter, we don't want to say, I just want to get rid of my stress, right? Because stress is actually good. It helps us adapt. I'm giving you guys something that's causing stress right now, but in a good way. A high intensity interval workout is a stress, but it's so that your body can adapt. It's when we're in a chronic state of stress that our physical health just absolutely deteriorates. And this is the whole point of the chill method, is learning how to relax in the deepest way so that even when there are stressful states, your body is in a physiological place where it can not only handle it, but actually takes that stress and turns it into adaptation in every cell and something called supercompensation, which if you've worked with me before, you know what this means. That your body doesn't just take that stress and adapt to the place that it was, right? Just a one little level up. It actually overcompensates for that stress and it grows even stronger. But it cannot do that from a state of exhaustion. It cannot do that from a state of nutrient deficiency. It cannot do that from a state of just being really diseased and plagued. And that's where I see most women, especially high achieving women, find themselves. They've pushed and they've sacrificed and they've struggled and they see everything that they've ever achieved as super fucking hard work. Why? Because again, it goes back to, you guessed it, self-worth. Okay, so this is what I'm going to just kind of wrap up with. I said this is not going to be as long a training because this is really it's kind of mind and body blowing, soul blowing, right? Soul blowing training here. And That's the whole point, is that this is what I want this to be, is really, you're going to go through this exercise and you're going to get back to me and you're going to let me know how you've shifted. And you're going to feel it. It is going to be radical. So let's go in a little bit further here. You have your questions. You're going to dig in. You're going to go through them. It's going to bring up some triggers, and that's okay. And you may cry through that, and that's okay too. And I want that, right? So what's next? It's microlining. Okay? Like once you drill all of this down, right? And start to come into what your definition of greatness is and what your biggest problem is right now, and showing your mind what's on the other side of that, then you start to see the woman that you are in your essence. And then you get to choose to be that woman in every moment, to embody that in every cell, right? And of course, you may not do this all at once because that would overflood the body. We're going to take one piece at a time, right? Secure it in. Let it become a part of you. Okay? Go back to contemplation and dance with this. Again, the second that you start to feel uncomfortable, lean in, but lean in from a place of curiosity and not from a place of judgment. Lean in and just be with your emotions, knowing that you're worthy of having every single one of them. Okay? Then you're going to kind of go in a little further and say, like, well, what would happen if the next problem came in? Because your brain is always looking for something to solve. But you're now in this place where you are your essence. You are who you were meant to be, and embodying that deepest, most content, peaceful, relaxed version of yourself. And you have another problem, because you will. But how does that deeper version of you respond? How does she show up? How does that woman solve the problem? Are you going to lose your shit? Are you going to freak out? Right? Doing this and playing this kind of, like I said, mental gymnastics is building up this muscle. Okay? The physiology, just real quickly, is that you're literally rewiring and firing different messages from your DNA to your brain. And as that happens, your body's going, oh, this is a new pathway. This is a new neural pathway. And I see that you're using it repeatedly. So let me code it in more protective protein called myelin. And as your myelin thickens, those signals go faster and they are stronger. And that's how you develop any skill. That's what's actually happening physiologically. Like when you go to do your first set of lunges and you're like all wobbly and all over the place, but then you do them through a HIIT workout over and over, even within the workout, they start to get more rhythmic. It's because literally you're thickening your myelin in seconds. That's how amazingly adaptive your body is. So tap into that. Even if you're like questioning your own self-worth, think about, oh my gosh, just simply being a human. How freaking worthy am I that I can like literally thicken my myelin and acquire a skill in a matter of moments. So imagine putting this into repetition on high repeat. What's going to happen? You're going to develop this muscle for what? Embodying the woman you are meant to be in your essence. You're going to step more into your self-worth from a place of relaxation. You are stimulating your parasympathetic nervous system through this process. Protective, cardioprotective. And then you can look at things like weight loss and all of these external things as just side effects. They just They just happen naturally instead of being on the outside trying to call them in and push to achieve them. It's simply this. Your mind, right, as you go through this work, wants to stay stuck because it thinks that's where it belongs. It's just like, this is what you've been telling yourself for so many years, right? Like that you're not worthy. So everything that you do has to be a push and has to be a struggle and has to be a fight. And how does that feel on your body, right? How's that been working for you? This is where you get to look at what you've been believing and who you are and what your place is in the world. Okay? Like on some subconscious level, do you think you deserve to suffer? Right? I mean, does it even really matter? You just simply get to choose whether that's true or not. But when you really look at it like that, like, do I deserve to suffer? Whoa, like, okay, no, you can start to really see like I don't deserve this. I'm a good human. And it comes from inside of you. It's not somebody on the outside validating whether you're a good human or not, right? So take 60 seconds. This is the interval, okay? You're going to journal, and then you're just going to reach this point where you're like, I've got some stuff out. Breathe. Stand up. Okay? And if you're reaching this place of like, oh, I see now on this subconscious level that I think that kind of like I do deserve this, or I'm not feeling worthy, or you get to that pain point, just stand up. Do a few squats, move your body, and say, I'm not going to fucking go down like that. Right? I get to make choices from my heart, no matter what my mind says. Okay? These things don't just go away, right? Like you're not going to just like lose all this weight and make all this money and arrive and all of these problems are just going to be gone. It doesn't work like that. It comes down to this, like how quickly can you handle them and move forward? How strong are you, right, at mitigating the fear and dancing with the stress and like, I'm going to take the learning, I'm going to ditch the suffering because my body doesn't need that. I feel the pain, I'm going to sit with it, boom, and I'm going to continue to move on. So that's what these intuition intervals are about. It's also about stretching and growing. We have to give you a stimulus, right? It's not just having the problem. It's like, let's go beyond that. Let's stretch the brain even beyond this problem that's right in front of you that you may be getting super myopic on and going, well, what does the higher version of me do? Well, what if I didn't have that problem? What would I be doing? Right? And what happens if an even bigger problem comes than this one? And you go there, right? And you stretch and you just keep going over and over again. And that's what's going to really make the difference. It's the practical application. That's the secret, right? If there was a secret sauce, it's like love energy cures everything. And then practice that shit over and over and over again. Because here's the thing, ladies, right? At the end of your days, are you going to look back and say, like, seriously, like, why did I waste 2 years or 5 years or 7 years or 10 years or like over a decade worrying about fitting into my size 6 jeans or like worried about your debt when you could have been freaking partying in the moment? Right? So take a look at these things. See what specific emotional responses come up for you. Like your biggest problem. What is the emotional response? Like, why is it so deeply rooted for you? Why is it so emotionally charged for you? And start to unpack that. Okay, the world is a reflection of what you believe. And so people are going to show up and treat you the way that you believe that you're going to be treated, the way you believe you are. Like if you think deep down inside, I'm not worthy and I'm stupid, right? Then you're going to continue to have that show up in your life. Super fun stuff. So this is very heavy and this is very dense. I might do a follow-up to this perhaps over the weekend and just maybe do a little bit more unpacking around stress itself. I really want you guys to reflect on this. And I really want you to nurture your souls through this so that you can actually feel that super compensation taking place. You will look at yourself so differently. And I just want this to have the deepest meaning for you. That's why I'm here. I mean, that's what gets me to kick my sheets off in the morning, is knowing that I can experience this. I've been through this pain. I could turn that around and share that with you. So let's end with that. And perhaps I'll do an additional training. I think this is enough for right now. I want you to have like the holy shit revelation, but not just the holy shit revelation. It's the 3 months from now, you're like, I don't even recognize that person, that version of me. That's what I want for you. So bad. I can feel it. Love it. Okay. Boom. Rock out. Intuition intervals. Let me know what comes up. This is what I'm here for. And let's party.